Hello, everybody. It's Adam, and today I'm going to bring you a commentary talking about Ghost and UAV spam. And I'm going to do it over some Black Ops TDM here. I don't even really remember what it is, 34-3 or something. It's 5-minute gameplay. Let me start out real quick, not to waste too much time. I apologize for sounding even more like Barry White than I normally do, fighting some sort of upper respiratory infection type of situation right now, and that is obviously making my voice a little raspy and kind of painful. So if I take a few stops to drink some of my delicious Coke Zero Nectar of the Gods or otherwise clear my throat, please forgive me. So my last video, I ended up talking a little bit about Ghost and UAVs, and I don't even really remember exactly how I got into it, but it's a topic that's interested me for as long as I've been, literally for as long as I've been playing Call of Duty. As far back as Call of Duty 4, when really no one used UAV Jammer, and all it did was hide you from UAVs. I was sort of interested in the dynamics of it, and when Black Ops first came out, I made a video that talked about Ghost and UAV spam as well, but not exactly the same direction as I want to take it today. In that video, I was primarily talking about whether I thought Ghost was a viable perk to use, whether it was cheap to use it, because there was just so much criticism being leveled around it. So really quick, some background. In Call of Duty 4 and World at War, you had obviously a 357 kill streak selection. You only had those three. You couldn't deviate from it. And at 3 was your UAV. There was no hard line to reduce that to 2 kills or whatever, so it was 3. It was just 3. It was only 3. UAV jammer and then camouflage in World at War protected you from the UAV. That's simple, right? It was in the red perk slot. Some people call it the second perk slot. And there were 2 very viable alternatives to using it. One was Stopping Power, and one was Juggernaut. Stopping Power and Juggernaut were and remain perfectly balanced. Anybody that tells you otherwise or complains about Juggernaut is either a sniper or just genuinely doesn't know what they're talking about. Okay. In Modern Warfare 2, they took away Juggernaut, but left Stopping Power, which was a mistake, but regardless, moving on. They also made Cold-Blooded remove the red name above your head, and also make you immune from being targeted by vehicles. So, Cold-Blooded in Modern Warfare 2 was actually just as powerful as Ghost in Black Ops, but there was still Stopping Power, so there was still a trade-off to using it, so most people didn't use it. In Black Ops, they removed Stopping Power, and I understand the reasons why they did, and I actually think it was good logic. But at the same time, they also took away any sort of preventative need to use it, to not use Ghost. Excuse me, that didn't make any sense. Not having Stopping Power meant there was no pressing perk that you should take to not need to take Ghost. So in the end, pretty much everybody that just wanted to sit in a corner or camp or play slow or whatever ended up taking Ghost. Okay, so that's the background. The point that I want to bring up, and really we only need a couple minutes to talk about it, is the UAV itself. In Call of Duty 4 and World at War, it really wasn't a problem. There was a tremendous amount of UAV spam, but the number of kill streaks you could call in was so limited and not selectable at all that UAV was just part of the game. It was part of the internal structure of the game. It was expected. Everybody had access to it. Everybody was going to use it. Every single player in the game had a UAV as one of their kill streaks. Every single player in the game was going to call it in. It was expected. Stopping Power and Juggernaut were available as alternatives. People tended not to take UAV Jammer as a result of that. The games tended to play out pretty balanced. People, I think, almost started to ignore the UAV. It was still helpful and necessary, but the maps were small and it just wasn't a priority. You get to Modern Warfare 2, and the funny thing is, most people didn't use UAVs. Everybody wanted their nuke. Everybody wanted their high kill streaks. So the UAV spam was really, really minimal. If you go back to Modern Warfare 2 now, UAV spam is really prevalent, and it's really annoying. But during the glory days of Modern Warfare 2, and I say this as someone who played it for like 1,000 hours, UAVs were not super prominent, and UAV spam was not a problem. Then you get to Black Ops. Suddenly, you've got Ghost is such a powerful perk. A lot of people started using UAVs again because there weren't as many kill streaks to choose from. There was no nuke, there was no Moab or whatever. And UAV spam became a real problem. When UAV spam became a problem, Ghost became a real problem, right? So the question that we have to ask ourselves now is, are the stealth perks the problem, or is the UAV spam the problem? And I genuinely think what Treyarch is doing with stealth perks in Black Ops 2 is brilliant. They're splitting it up basically into 3 component parts, so that in order to get what you had for Ghost Pro in Black Ops 2, you have to use 3 different perks. That, to me, restores some of the balance to it, but doesn't take away any of the issue with UAV spam. UAV is still the first kill streak you can get. It's still the easiest kill streak to get, and as long as people can get UAVs very quickly and without much effort and see everybody on the other team, we're going to have these problems. We're still going to have the problem of UAV spam. We're still going to have people abusing stealth perks. So I think the real key at some point, maybe in Modern Warfare 4 or whatever comes next, Call of Duty Remastered or Black Ops 3, I think we need to get to a point where we have at 3 kills or 300 score or 280 score or whatever it is now in Black Ops 2, where we have a personal UAV. So at that point, you call in a UAV, the only person that can see everybody on the map is you. At 5 kills or something like that, as an alternative to the Predator or Hellstorm missile type of thing, you get the team UAV. And then again at 8, 9, 10, 11 kills, whatever, you get the Blackbird or the Orbital VSAT in Black Ops 2. To me, this is the only way to properly balance the UAV spam with the ghost or camouflage spam, whatever you want to call it, the stealth perk spam. And from that perspective, if you're a ghost user or a stealth perk user that moves around a lot, I completely understand why you use the perk, and I support it. And I think in Black Ops 2, you're going to see the vast majority, 50% of people you run into in games are at least going to be using Ghost, because I think we're going to see a tremendous amount of UAV spam again, especially given how hard it appears to be to get kill streaks. So you can see I went well over a minute past my first video, which is why you've got a random clip of me beasting on some people here. Thank you for staying. I hope you enjoyed this commentary. Please leave some feedback for me on it. I find the analysis and thought about this stuff sometimes more interesting than the actual practice of playing. So let me know what you think.